What is the truth of modern science regarding the origin of all matter in the universe? Do scientists claim it has always existed?
Yep.
Or have they determined there was a moment in time when all matter came into existence?
Nope.
The latter answer is yes.
Nope.
But what is the proof? The first law of thermodynamics is matter and energy can be neither created nor destroyed.
No, not at all. The first law of thermodynamics states that the energy within a closed system remains constant, and that implies that energy is not created or destroyed. But that says nothing about matter. In fact, matter is created and destroyed over time. However, there is a completely separate law of conservation of mass, which implies that mass is neither created nor destroyed. So for the rest of this video, every time you say matter, we're just going to assume that you meant to say mass, because that would be correct. But it's worth noting that the law of conservation of mass has nothing to do with thermodynamics.
This means there is no new matter or energy coming into existence, and no matter or energy passing out of existence.
And that is why we don't say that mass or energy ever began to exist. Video's over. Roll credits.
Saying the universe came into existence from nothing violates the first law of thermodynamics.
And that's why we don't say that. Now I get where this argument is coming from. It's coming from a very common creationist misunderstanding of the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory doesn't say that nothing exploded to become everything, but instead the Big Bang Theory states that a singularity expanded to become the universe as we know it today. All of the mass and energy that's in the universe now was in that singularity. The only difference is that the singularity was in an infinitely dense state. But nobody who knows what they're talking about will say that energy or mass ever came into existence.
Established by the very scientific community, now willing to ignore it.
We're not ignoring it, you just misunderstand it.
This law plainly demonstrates that the universe and all matter and energy within it must have had a divine origin, a specific moment in which it was created by someone all-powerful.
No, it does not. In fact, it says the exact opposite of that. It implies that all of the mass and energy that is in the universe now has always existed. This is a huge, unfounded jump in logic. Now here, David gives a basic explanation of how heavy radioactive elements breaks down into other elements.
What's the point?
Yeah.
There was a time when uranium could not have existed.
Hold on, how can you say that?
Because it always breaks down in a highly systematic and controlled way. Not stable like lead or other elements, uranium breaks down. So there was a specific moment when all radioactive elements came into existence.
No, that is a huge jump in logic. In no way does that imply a divine origin. In essence, it implies one of two things. That the universe is either an infinite regression of decomposing elements, which it's not, or that there is a process in which radioactive elements are formed. And that is the case. The heavy radioactive elements that you're talking about comes from supernova nucleosynthesis. But lighter radioactive elements and molecules can come from stellar nucleosynthesis or even cosmic ray spallation, which is happening in our atmosphere right now.
Remember, all of them have not existed forever.
Maybe so, but we do know how they're formed. And this isn't some advanced unknown stuff. It took me a couple minutes to Google this.
This represents absolute proof that matter came into existence.
No, not at all. The decay of radioactive elements does imply that there is some way that radioactive elements were formed, but in no way does that imply that there was a time when nothing existed at all.
This flies directly in the face of evolutionary thought, that everything gradually evolved into something else.
No, it does not. In fact, as I've shown, it is easily explained by natural processes.
The problem? You cannot have something slowly come into existence from nothing. Matter could not have come into existence by itself.
And that's why nobody says that it did.